Good morning, students. Today we shall discuss the Simpson theory of lightning. The formation or accumulation of charge in the clouds are too many and uncertain. You can observe the factors that contribute to the formation or accumulation of charge in the clouds are too many. But during thunderstorms, positive and negative charges become separated by the heavy air current with the crystals in the upper part and rain in the lower parts of the clouds. They are saying that mm, contribute to the formation or accumulation of charge in the cloud are too many. During thunderstorms, for example, if rainy season, during thunderstorms, what happens? Positive and negative charges become separated. Positive and negative charges become separated by the heavy air current with the ice crystals in the upper part and rain in the lower parts of the cloud. This charge separation depends on the what? This depends on charge separation depends on the height of the cloud. Okay, this charge separation depends on what? Height of the cloud, which range from 200 to 10,000 meter. Okay, with their charge centers probably at a distance of about what? Distance of about 300 to 200 meter. Next is the volume of the cloud. Okay, now till now we know that charge separation is depends on the height of the cloud. Next is volume of the cloud. Volume of the cloud that participate in Simpson theory of lightning flashover are uncertain, but the charge inside the cloud may be high as 1 to 100 Celsius. They are saying that Simpson theory of lightning flashover are uncertain, but the charge inside the cloud may be high as 1 to 100 Celsius. Clouds may have potential as high as 10 to the power of 7 to 10 to the power of 8 volt with field gradients ranging from 100 volt per centimeter within the cloud to as high as 10 kilovolt per centimeter at the initial discharge point. Okay, the energies associated with the cloud discharge can be high as 250 kilowatt hour. Okay, 250 kilowatt. It is believed that the upper region of the cloud are usually positively charged. They are saying that upper region of the cloud are positively charged, whereas the lower region and the base predominantly negative, except the local region. Lower region there will be negative. Okay, near the base and the head which is positive. Okay, near the base and the head there is a positive. The maximum gradient reached at the ground level due to charged cloud may be high as 300 volt per centimeter, while the fair weather gradients are about 1 volt per centimeter. A probable charge distribution model is this one. You can observe probable field gradient near the ground corresponding to the probable charge distribution in cloud. This is the upper part is positive and lower part is negative and some are grounded. Okay, field gradient at ground. According to Simpson theory of lightning, there are three essential reasons in the cloud to be considered for charge formation. Okay, they are saying that according to Simpson theory of lightning, three essential reasons. That is, for what? Three essential reasons we should consider for what? Charge formation. For they have considered to for charge formation. Below reason A kind, you can observe the figure here. This is the figure A, B, C. Okay, these are the charge formation layers. You can think that below region A, current travel above 800 centimeter per second and no raindrops fall through. In region A, air velocity is high enough to break the falling raindrops, causing a positive charge spray in the cloud and negative charge in the air. What does A do? Air velocity is high enough. How much air velocity is there? It's have capacity to break the falling raindrops, causing a positive charge spray in the cloud and negative charge in the air. Okay, the spray is blown upwards, but as the velocity of air decreases, the positively charged water drops recombine with the larger drops and fall again. They are saying that what does reason A do? Air velocity will be high. How much it will be high? It has capacity to break the falling raindrops that will cause a positive charge spray in the cloud and negative charge in the air. The spray is blown. Okay, the spray is blown upwards, but as the velocity of air decreases, okay, the spray is blown upwards as the velocity of air decreases. Okay, as velocity of air decreases, the spray is blown upwards. The positively charged water drops recombine with the larger drops and fall again. Thus, region A eventually becomes predominantly positively charged, while region B above it becomes negatively charged by air currents. Okay, so the region A will become positively charged, and the while region B above it, okay, above it is, and it will become a negatively charged by what? By air currents. Okay, in the upper region, in the cloud, that is the temperature is low. Okay, in the upper region in the cloud is the temperature will be low, below freezing point, and only ice crystal exist. They are saying that upper region, on the upper region what will be exist? Ice crystal will be exist because there will be a low temperature. The impact of air on these crystal makes them negatively charged. Thus the distribution of the charge within the cloud becomes, this is a figure you can observe here, cloud model according to Simpson theory. A, B and C, you can observe cloud motion. Ice crystal will be created on the layer and air currents, these are the air currents, and positive rain, this is the positive rain. Okay, however, the impact of air on these crystals makes what? Negatively charged. Thus, the distribution of the charge within the cloud becomes. Okay. The above Simpson theory of lightning is absolute and the explanation presented is not satisfactory. Uh, they are saying that Simpson theory of lightning is absolute, but the explanation presented was not satisfactory. So what Reynolds will explain, modify. He will modify the theory. Okay, Reynolds and Mason proposed modification according to which the thunder clouds are developed at height of what? At height of 1 to 2 kilometer above the ground level. Okay, this is a Reynolds modification. Reynolds and Mason proposed a modification that what are the disadvantage or limitations to overcome that. He has modified, and thunder clouds are developed at height of what? Height of 1 to 2 kilometer above the ground level and may extend up to 12 to 14 kilometer above the ground. For thunder clouds and charge formation, air currents, moisture, and specific temperature range are required. Okay. For thunder clouds and charge formation, air currents, moisture, and specific temperature range are required. The air currents controlled by the temperature gradient move upwards, carrying moisture and water droplets. They are saying that air currents can be air currents controlled by what? Controlled by the temperature gradient moving upwards, carrying moisture and water droplets. Okay, How they will control air current? Control air current controlled by what? Controlled by temperature current, which will move upwards carrying what? Carrying moisture and water droplets. The temperature is 0 degrees Celsius at what? At about 4 kilometers from the ground, and may reach 50 degrees Celsius at about 12-kilometer height. But what about water droplets? Water droplets do not freeze as soon as the temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. They freeze below 40 degrees Celsius only as solid particles on which crystalline ice pattern develops and grow. They are saying that but water droplets do not freeze as soon as the temperature is 0 degree. They freeze below minus, that is below 40 degrees Celsius only has solid particles on which crystalline ice pattern develop and grow. The larger the number of solid sites or nuclei present, the higher is the temperature at which the ice crystals grow. Thus, in clouds, the effective freezing temperature range is grounded. Okay, ground 33 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. The water droplets in the thunder cloud are blown up by air currents and get super cooled over a range of height and temperature. When the upward moving supercooled water droplets act on a cooler hailstone, it freezes partially. They are saying that when the upward moving supercooled water droplets act on a cooler hailstone, it will freeze partially. It will not freeze totally, it will freeze partially. The outer layer of the water droplets freeze, forming a shell with the water inside. That means for example bubble. Okay, outside there will be, if you bubble will be outside you can see, but inside there will be hair. Okay, same similarly this out droplet of water droplet freeze, forming a shell with the water inside. Outside we look, outside layer is water droplets frozen. Okay, but inside there will be a water. When the process of cooling extends to inside warmer water in the core, it expands thereby splintering and spraying the frozen ice shell. Okay, this is what happens when the process of cooling will extend to inside warmer water in the core. It expands there by splintering and spraying the frozen ice shell. The splinters, being fine in size, are moved up by the air currents and carry a net positive charge to the upper region of the cloud. They are saying that splinters, being fine in size and are moved up by the air currents. Okay, the splinters are moved up by the air currents and it carry a net positive, total positive charge to the upper region of the cloud. The hailstones that travel downwards carry an equivalent negative charge to the lower region of the cloud, and thus negative charge builds up in the bottom side of the cloud. That means bottom side of the cloud will be negative and the upside will be top side will be positive. Okay. According to Mason, the ice splinters should carry only positive charge upwards. He is saying that according to splinters, here splinters move upwards and it carry a positive charge to the upper region of the cloud and downwards negative charge. Here he is saying that ice splinters should carry only positive charge upwards. Water, being ionic in nature, has concentration of what? Concentration of H plus and OH minus ions. The ion density depends on what? The ion density depends on temperature. Thus, ice slab with upper and lower surface at temperature T1 and T2, there will be a higher concentration of ions in the lower region. So he is saying that H plus ions are much lighter, they diffuse and much faster all over the volume. Therefore, the lower portion, which is warmer, will have a net negative charge density, and hence the upper portion, will cooler region, will have a net positive charge density. He gave another reason: ice slab with upper and lower surface at temperature, there will be a higher concentration of ions in the lower region. So there will be a negative, okay, negative charge density. And what about in the upper region, upper portion, there will be a lower. Hence, H plus ions are much lighter, they diffuse much faster all over the volume. Okay, that's fine. Then low portion, which is warmer, low portion will be warmer, which will have the net negative charge density. Upper portion will have the cooler region, so net positive charge density. It must be appreciated that outer shell of the frozen water droplets coming into contact with hailstone will be relatively cooler and therefore acquire a net positive charge when the shell splinters. The charge carried by them in the upward direction is positive. According to Reynolds' theory, which is based on experimental results, the hail packets negatively charged. Hail packets get negatively charged when impinged upon by warmer ice crystals. When the temperature conditions are reversed, the charging polarity reverses. The extent of the charging and consequently the rate of charge generation was found to disagree with the practical observation relating to thunderclouds. This type of phenomena also occurs in thunderclouds. We shall go with the topic that rate of charging of thunderclouds. Mason considered that thunderclouds too consist a uniform mixture of positive and negative charges. Due to hailstone and air currents, the charge separate vertically. If lambda is a factor which depends on the conductivity of the medium, there will be a resistive leakage of a charge from the electric field built up, and this should be taken into account for cloud charging. Let E be the electric field intensity, V be the velocity of separation of charges, and rho be the charge density in the cloud. Then the electric field intensity E is given by dE divided by dt plus lambda E is equal to rho into V. That is the first equation. From this equation, we can write E is equal to rho V divided by lambda, open bracket, 1 minus exponential minus lambda t, close bracket, again close bracket. This equation assumes initially E is equal to 0 and t is equal to 0 at the start of the charge separation. There is no separation initially. Let Q be the separated charge and Qs be the generated charge. Rho is equal to Qg divided by AH, E is equal to Qs divided by A epsilon naught, where E epsilon naught is the permittivity of the medium, A is the cloud area, and H is the height of the charged region. Qg is equal to Qs into H divided by V, open bracket, 1 minus exponential minus of omega t, lambda t, close bracket, again close bracket, is equal to m divided by V, 1 minus exponential of minus or lambda t, close bracket, where m is equal to Qs into H, that is electric movement of thunderstorm. The average values observed for thunder clouds are, you can, time constant is equal to 1 divided by lambda is equal to 20 seconds, electric movement m is equal to 110 Celsius kilometer, and the time constant for first lightning flash to appear t is equal to 20 seconds. The velocity of separation of charges v is equal to 10 to 20 meter per second. Substituting these values, we get that Qg is equal to 1000 Celsius, okay, 1000 coulombs, okay. This Q is equal to, you will get 1000 coulombs to 20,000 divided by V, okay. V is the value they have given, 10 to 20. So if we substitute 20, you will get 1000 coulomb for V is equal to 20 meter per second. Calculation using Mason's theory shows that a maximum charge transfer of 3 into 10 to the power of minus 3 t of contact surface for a contact period of 0.01 second, where T is the temperature difference. Theory and observation of Reynolds ET gave values of 5 into 10 to the power of minus 9 SU per crystal impact for a given temperature difference of 5 degrees Celsius. Mason's theory seems to give much higher values, yet it explained the phenomenon satisfactorily. Theory and observation of both the theories they have explained. Next, we shall discuss about the lightning stroke definition and mechanism of lightning strokes in the next class.